Well, hello everybody. I hope you are ready for this Sunday for our first crack at a small group based kids ministry. And I just want you to know I'm so glad that you are a part of this. I think this is not only going to set the course for kids ministry for the future of Southeast Christian Church, but I also think it's going to change you. I think that you're going to realize that this is not only a very cool and fun thing to be a part of, but there's something that happens inside when we work with people and do something meaningful with our time. So I wanted to take just a brief couple of minutes here in this video to walk you through this coming Sunday. Make sure that you're feeling confident and ready to rock and roll. So here we go. Here are our 5 small groups that we're going to be looking at. If we have too many kids, then I will also take a small group. I'd really like to avoid that if possible. But we've got Brian, Jason, Stan, and then Mabel and Cassidy, you two are going to co-lead, and then Carson and Emily, you two are going to co-lead, and that will help with the 1 week that you couldn't make it. So basically what's going to happen is the room that we're in, which is now a new classroom for the kindergartners in first grade. It was formerly for 4th and 5th graders. Those 2 rooms have switched. The official number is Journeys 251. So what's going to happen are the kids are going to enter, and there's going to be little dividers that are set up in the room. So what I'll do is I will be at the front door with color-coded stickers. And what's going to happen is I will catch the kids before they enter into the room, and I'll find out, for example, Jane comes in and say, "Hi Jane, you are on the red team," and I'll stick a little red sticker on her little check-in tag. So I'll let you know ahead of time which color you will be, and I'd like for you to wear that color that morning. So for example, let's just say that Brian, you are the red group. So you'll have a red shirt on. So when Jane comes and checks in, I'll say, "Hey Jane, you're in the red group," and I'll point her in through this way, and she'll come in, and Brian, you will be there, already waiting, ready to talk with her. And so I'll catch the kids on the way in, and we'll divide them up evenly so that every group has about the same number of people. I was thinking about doing it ahead of time, but then if a bunch of kids don't show up, we run the risk of one group having like 20 and another group having none. So we'll catch them on the way in, and what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to have you have a clipboard, and when the kid comes in, you just write their little name down on a clipboard, and you learn it. So Brian meets Jane, and so Jane comes in, and Mabel, who is one of our coordinators, is already going to have like toys and little things set out in each of these groups. And so the kids will come in, they'll see the toys on the floor, they'll immediately sit down, and that will be your opportunity to sit down with them. "Hi Jane, how are you? How old are you? Do you go to school? What's your favorite thing about school? Tell me about your family. Do you have brothers? Do you have sisters?" You're just making Jane feel known and loved, and that by itself is a huge win, huge win. And so you'll write down her name, and after you get your group of kids, I think maybe 8 to 10 per group is what we're probably going to be looking at. Once you get that list, give it to me, and then I'll make a copy of it, and then you can have it to help you memorize the names. But that will be our list to know for the following week which kids go in which group, so that we're not having to go through the same process each time. So I'll see Jane's name in week 2 and say, "Oh, hi Jane, you're in the red group again." And there on week 2 is Brian once again wearing a red shirt, and Jane is starting to feel a sense of pattern here. I'm going to be in the same small group. That's the kind of thing that we're trying to create. So I'll be on the front end of that. This will go on from somewhere in the neighborhood of 8:30 to 9:10. We'll see it the most intensified around 10 till 9 through 9:10. So I really would like for you all to be here. I know this is early, but 8:15, I'd love to just gather in this office where I am right now and just pray together that the Lord would be ahead of us. And then 8:30, people start dropping their kids off. So at about 9:10, we are going to begin a game. Now Kate, my wife, is going to be the MC. And so while you're all still in your small groups, Kate is going to get on the microphone in front of the room and say, "Okay, everybody, we're going to do a game. You ready to do a game?" And basically she's just going to explain very quickly Duck, Duck, Goose, but we'll be calling it Brother, Brother, David to go along with our David series. So she'll explain that, and you'll do those games right in your small groups, okay? That will go for about 10 minutes. So at 9:20, we are expecting the worship team to come in. However, sometimes they are a little bit behind schedule, but just know this, at 9:20 we are going large group. The plan is for at this point in time for kids worship to start. However, if that team is late, we're going to go right into the story. Mindy is going to be telling the story of Samuel anointing David as the coming king. And the bottom line for the week, which you're going to know so well you have it memorized, is that on God's team, I always get picked. And so she's going to walk through how, like when you pick for kickball teams, there's always somebody who's picked last or somebody who's left out. And David didn't, he wasn't considered at first by his father Jesse, and they marched all the big brothers through, but then David finally got his chance. And we're going to draw that connection line back to, with God's team, I always get picked. So that's what's going to be happening there. So worship music will go for about 15 minutes. The lesson will go for about 15 minutes. So that puts us back right about 9:50, 10 till 10, where we are going to go back into small groups. So at this point in time, we have a special little craft. The supplies will be there, and Kate on stage will explain again how the craft works, so you don't have to worry about making sure you have everything figured out ahead of time. But while this craft is happening, there'll be little index cards, and they'll be doing a fun little exercise that's about God's team. This is your opportunity to interact with them, to see what they're writing down on their cards, or to the little pictures that they're drawing on their cards, and to ask them about it. To ask them, so did you understand the story? Did you understand what was happening? Do you know that, bottom line, big idea, on God's team, you're always picked. We're going to reinforce that over and over again because we want kids to get one simple statement, attach it with one simple Bible story, so that when mom and dad pick them up later and they say, what did you learn? It's been reinforced in these small groups. So at the front end, when kids are checking in, you're getting to know them, you're getting to know their names, you're helping them feel connected, feel loved. At the back end, you're helping reinforce the story, you're walking them through the craft, and that's kind of the big deal. Now, the other huge component of this are the parents. So this is going to be new for them as well. I think they'll totally be on board, especially after they see it work once. But since 8:30 through 9:10 is check-in, parents will be bringing their kids straight into your small group. I think it's very important that parents come in the room and feel what's happening, drop their kids off, give them a hug, give them a kiss, all that kind of stuff. So they will check in with you. And also, when we're done here, somewhere in the 10:10 neighborhood, parents are going to come pick their kids up. That's also going to be your job. Okay, so they are going to have to give a ticket, and on this ticket is a number. That number should correspond with the name tag on the child's sticker. If it does not, or if they lost their ticket, you just say very kindly, I'm sorry, this is our process. Do you just have a driver's license that I could see? And then you check their name against the name of the child when they came in, and that's kind of the process that we'll go through. I'll also be there during checkout, so if you have any questions and you feel nervous about that, I'll be present, I'll be there. But this is a real key moment for us, because we're not just ministering to kids, we're ministering to parents too. And so what I would love for you to do, small group leaders, this will go so far. Please try your very best to do this. When mom comes and picks up Jane, you make it a point of saying, we just loved having Jane here today. She was so funny. She was so smart with her Bible verse, and she understood this, and she just did such a great job. Parents love to hear a little bit of feedback. They're always wondering, how'd my kid do? They're afraid to ask, though, because, I don't know, maybe they're afraid to know the answer, or maybe they don't want to burden you. But no, we want to build that relationship with parents. And teenagers, look, I know that you're young, but who do parents pay to babysit kids? Teenagers. Who do we send all across the world on mission trips? Teenagers. So don't sell yourself short here, teenagers. You are very well trusted. I'm trusting you, and these parents will trust you too, especially if you do a good job with their kids. So when they come to check out, you tell them about Jane, you tell them about Kevin and Chase and all the kids, and you just find one little thing, but just say that you loved having them. That kid hears it, the parent hears it, and that's a huge, huge win. So I'm also going to send you the lesson to make sure that you're on board with it. It's not really a lesson, it's just kind of the scripture, the big idea, the schedule, all that kind of stuff. And if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, please don't hesitate to email me or text me or call me or any of those things. Listen, this is a big deal. These 4 weeks are a big deal. But I'm telling you, I think that this group we have is amazing, and I really think we can do something incredible here at the church. So thank you again, and I will see you Sunday morning in my office, 8:15. I'll bring the donuts. We'll see you.